Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you the process I use to skein yarn for dyeing. This is a skein winder that I purchased and my husband made a little taller. It just goes around. Okay, so what I do first of all is I put my scale on the floor, I turn it on, and then I put my ball of yarn on the scale. And then I bring it up and attach it to my skein winder. I have a little piece of Velcro, sticky hook side of Velcro stuck to the back of one peg, and it grabs the yarn so I can wind it. Okay, I'm just rotating the skein winder. Started out my measurement at 79.8, and I'm going to stop winding when the scale reads 69.8. That will give me a 10-gram skein of yarn. Okay, we're at 60. Now I'm going to attach a little tag to it that will go through the dyeing process. It's made out of Tyvek, which is something you can, I guess I first cut up an envelope of some item that came in a Tyvek envelope. So that's my tag. I will write the formula I'm going to use, and that will go in the dye pot, and I'll know, hopefully know the dyes used and the depth of shade used to get that color. But this has to be contained somehow. It can't just go into the dye pot like that. It will get tangly. So I take these little short lengths of thrums. This is cotton. It could be anything. I guess I would use cotton. It wouldn't felt to your wool. So this is not much yarn, so I kind of divide it into thirds, and I twine it in between the yarn, just estimating it. And then I tie it into an overhand knot. So I've got a little twining done. Okay, so I have gone around here 4 times and twined it into little groups of 3. Okay, I like to be sure it's not going to get untangled, so I'll scoot it around, and now I will put in 4 more ties. But these I will do just by dividing it in half and then tying a little overhand knot. And I feel like this keeps it separate and keeps it neater. You do have to make sure they're not tight. It has to be very loose. If you get it too tight, you will create a resist. And that could be an interesting effect. And I have had that happen unintentionally, but it makes interesting yarn. So once that's all done, then you just trim off the little tails and remove it from the skein winder. So these just loosen and then slide back, and I can remove this. Just loosely skein the yarn until I'm ready to dye it. 10-gram skein. Okay, I'm going to try to make a plan of what I want to dye next. In my last dyeing session, I dyed these yarns, and I had more in mind of a greenish blue, even more green than this. So these were not successful, so I'm going to try to go from there. These two were 90% blue, 10% green. These are 85% blue and 15% green. So now I'm going to try two different shades, a 0.05 DOS and a 0.1 DOS. 75% of that will be blue, 25% will be green. And then I'm going to try half and half blue and half green in the two shades, 0.05 and 0.1. These I did like a lot. It's a nice soft blue-green. I'm trying to come up with colors that I can weave water with. But I'm going to go a shade darker, and so this is 0.025, this is 0.05, this is 0.1, and now I'm going to do twice as dark as this and 0.25. And this again I thought was very successful. It's a nice gray blue, but I want more shades of it. So I'm just continuing up the gray scale. This is 0.025 again, 0.05, and I'm going to go 3 shades darker. This is a red-brown, and I want to work on some skin tone, so I'm going to dilute it way down. I'm going to start at 0.1%, then half of that, 0.05, half of that, 0.025, and even half of that at 0.0125, so just a tiniest amount to see what happens. So it's just an exploration. So that's kind of how I work from colors I made and what I'm going to do next.